Why, hello there, everyone. So, earlier today, Bandai Namco dropped a reveal trailer for one of the most highly requested mobile suits to be added into Gundam Evolution, with it being the Heavy Arms, specifically the Heavy Arms Custom from Endless Waltz, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, the movie that takes place after the show. And even though I'm sure this makes a lot of people happy, this isn't much of a surprise. I haven't seen the video yet. But even before this trailer dropped, I knew that the Heavy Arms was going to be added because Bamco themselves actually spoiled the surprise by posting a video a few days prior to this in which they essentially remade one of the Toonami bumps for Gundam Wing, which I thought was pretty cool, but it spoiled it because after the video, at the end of the video, the remake of the Toonami bump, they used their own narrator for it, by the way, which I thought was cool, but by the end of it, they dropped the logo Endless Waltz. So even though they remade a bump for the regular Gundam Wing show, the end showed the logo for Endless Waltz. And so if they're going to be using an Endless Waltz version of any mobile suit, it's 100% going to be the Heavy Arms. Because if they were going to do the Wing or the Death Scythe, I think it would be more likely to do the version from the show. But anyway, let's watch it. I think the big question, at least in terms of the design, would be, does it have the clown half mask, right? Because it only has that for a short duration in the movie, but I would say that they should put it on because it differentiates it even more from the show, aside from it being blue-green instead of orange and having way more miniguns than the show version ever did. Let's see. Oh yeah, also at the end of that Toonami bump, before it dropped the logo of the Endless Waltz, it literally showed someone getting gunned down by what looked and sounded like a minigun. So that was also a confirmation. So they're not fooling anyone here. Yeah, it was the gym, right? Yeah, so this is how the video on Twitter ended. It showed the gym trying to block these shots to no avail, and then it dropped the Endless Waltz logo. So I'm assuming this is going to be the full thing? Yeah. Okay, so this was not in the Twitter video. Okay, so yeah, nice. It does have the half mask. I'm glad. It does seem to have the flip, so this is what I was saying back when I was theorizing the moveset. And that's the point that the Heavy Arms could have a bunch of mobility, right? Because I think some people were expecting a Heavy Arms to be like a Bastion archetype, but Guntank already kind of fulfills that role. So in addition to having the miniguns, also the Unicorn, giving the Unicorn the beam gatling, I thought decreased the chances of the Heavy Arms as well, at least until Bamco spoiled it. But in addition to the miniguns, the whole gimmick with the Heavy Arms, and I'm just theorizing here before I actually see the moveset, just to see if I'm right, I think it could revolve around homing missiles, right? Homing missiles plus the flips, the acrobatic stuff it can do. Yeah, the Heavy Arms Custom, EW, Endless Waltz version. G maneuver and skill, hatch, full open, barrage. Okay, so it's probably just shooty McShoot guy in the G maneuver. But I want to see the missiles, right? Of course, no HUD. They hate HUD for some reason. Okay, so for some reason, it was shooting with both arms at the same time here. But then here, it's only shooting with one. So I wonder if that's some kind of toggle ability that would make you burn through ammo faster. It would have to have some kind of trade-off, right? Or maybe it's just on a cooldown. Here's the flip. And I'm actually glad that, in this case, his flip takes you into third person, unlike with the new Gundam, which stays first person when you do the backflip. I wish that the new Gundam pulled out to third person when you did the backflip, but it stays first person, and it looks so jank, right, from a first-person perspective. So I'm glad that it actually does this. And it looks as if it's just a mobility thing. It doesn't appear as if you can attack or shoot during this. Because I would assume, well, the HUD is turned off, so it's possible you still have a target reticle, similar to when you're in mobile armor mode, when you're in flight mode with the Ashamar, for example. But it looks a bit too preoccupied with his arms folded up. I don't think they would bother to have it animate, bother to have like an attack animation out of this. So it's probably just a mobility thing. Looks good for this map, though, getting back up on this hill quickly. Because a lot of times in this map, having control of this hill is very important because it gives you oversight to the whole point down here. I think that might be why they're demonstrating it here. Okay, yeah, it's shooting, we know. I bet at least in the first few weeks of this guy being new and everybody wanting to play him, I bet shield suits are going to be very useful because the miniguns here are obviously live ammunition, unlike the Unicorn's beam gatling, so it's not going to be doing much damage to shields at all. Okay, so this is kind of the best of both worlds. I didn't think about this. So you can actually, let me go look at the first time it flipped again. I was thinking that you have to commit to the entire arc, right? I guess they do show it here a little bit. I was thinking that you have to commit to the whole arc, and then you can resume shooting and using abilities once you pretty much fall out of the arc, right? And you fall to the ground here. I guess he's a little bit above the ground, but he only gets to hover for a little bit. But in this case, it looks as if he is canceling out of the flip at the apex of the arc, which means it just gives you really good high ground to shoot everyone. So I don't know how he's doing it so much earlier here compared to the first time it showed the flip. Maybe you literally can just choose when to cancel out by hitting attack, right? In which case you actually can use this to shoot above people, which is what I was originally expecting, which is nice. But it also differentiates it even more from something like the Unicorn with a beam gatling or the gun tank, which is supposed to just be another shooty McShoot guy, another, heavy support fire guy. Because this kind of turns the heavy arms custom into a flanker, right? It can get behind the walls and shoot down below, and then it opens the team's front line up, and then the rest of the team are all disrupted. So I kind of like that it's actually more of like a dive/disruption mobile suit rather than just being support fire like gun tank or Unicorn. It's interesting that goes third person. I feel like that didn't need to go third person, but it's cool seeing all of the missile hatches open up like that. Cool silhouette. Okay, so the missiles, unlike what I was originally conceptualizing, the kit does not revolve around homing missiles, but it still has the missiles and the ult, and I think that makes sense because when it opens up, when all the hatches open up, it changes the silhouette quite a bit, and it's a pretty, it should be a big deal, I guess, so it makes sense having that be the ult. So I'm thinking the only thing it can really do outside of ult is shoot in terms of its abilities. Shoot with both arms at the same time. It might be a toggle ability of some kind, and then it also has the flip, and I think that might be it, right? I think it just has 2 abilities outside of ult. I don't think it needs a ton, because it's a pretty straightforward kit. Imagine if it were actually having to load in all of these casings in real time and it could crash your computer. Yeah, of course they're pairing it with the gun tank, right? Even if it does end up only having 2 abilities, I still think it'll be interesting because of the amount of ways you can use the acrobatic flip, right? Just the utility in terms of using it defensively to get away from something, or to kite something, or to dive an enemy team, or get behind walls, and so forth, right? Unless I just completely forgot about a third ability. Let me know what you think, though. I'm sure most people are happy about this, right? Especially with how popular the Heavy Arms Custom is in the West. But let me know if you have any any other ideas on how the kit works, or if I missed some other kind of post they made explaining in further detail how the kit works. Or if not, let me know if you agree in thinking that this is going to be a toggle ability, right? Because it's literally just essentially a mirrored side from what your right arm is normally doing. So I doubt it's some kind of ability that just continuously shoots. I have a feeling that you're having to literally hold click to make this fire on both sides, right? So anyways, I think that's all I can get from the trailer. I'm pretty excited for it. I was originally thinking that they were going to make this reveal. So when they initially spoiled it, I thought that they were originally going to show this off in the live stream that they had planned for March 4th. And so I was just waiting for March 4th, and I was going to live stream my reaction to the March 4th stream, but then they randomly, essentially shadow dropped this trailer. But I still want to watch the March 4th thing, and they might have some more info during that. So look forward to more Gundam Evolution related videos, and once this is in the game, I will definitely be playing the game again. I think right now, my relationship with the game is that I want to play the game for at least a week whenever there's a new update or something like that. I think that keeps it fun while I'm still able to balance other games at the same time. So anyways, thanks for watching, everyone, and bye for now.